It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 4. Point is verse 6. And it reads, And Yahushua, who people ignorantly call Jesus, Yahushua Hamashiach answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. So we know you have a such thing called the red letter Bible. And the red letter Bible is basically the words that Yahushua Hamashiach, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Basically, the words he spoke are written in the red. Verse 5, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. I want to start off by giving all praise. Salakia. I'm going to read 7 as well. I'm going to read to 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakados Wakatam. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I say peace and salutations to the Akim out there pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying lesson. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth to you. I'll say Shalom. So this is your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. This lesson is in regards to this article, and through the Spirit I came across the elder Apostle Tahar. He did a lesson on it. I guess it was some kind of exchange between Iran and America. Something happened with a drone that's supposed to killed some basically a contractor of the United States, a military contractor. So the Biden administration basically retaliated and bombed some area over in Iran or Iraq. I'm gonna get the article, but point of me bringing that up is the fact that the elder was saying that you got these camps out here and they just all jumping for joy because they're looking at the war is being proclaimed or rumors of war, and he's talking about how America and Russia are at war, but they don't physically have boots on the ground where we can see, but they're like in a Cold War, like back in the day. So that's a rumor of war. But he was saying how it's a particular prophecy that has to come to pass before we know that we're up out of here, and that's the Spirit, because I was just reading what's the verse 6, and it says, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So although you're going to see the war, we know that the end is not yet until a particular prophecy is basically come to fruition, which is that MOTB, that mass implementation, basically the mass, basically when they try to basically get the citizens and the people of the world to take this technology in droves, the masses. Implementation. I was it's lucky to call Loyam like y'all watching me. Implementation of the CHIP. I had a brain for it, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this article because I might have messed up some. No, it was Iran, right? So it says Biden says U.S. prepared to act forcefully to protect Americans. Ottawa, March 24th, U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday said that the United States is prepared to act forcefully to protect Americans, commenting after the U.S. military carried out airstrikes against Iran-backed forces in retaliation for an attack that killed an American contractor and wounded 5 U.S. troops. Make no mistake, the United States does not seek conflict with Iran, but be prepared for us to act forcefully to protect our people, Biden told reporters during an official visit to Canada. And that's funny because, they say that they don't seek conflict, but America is one of the main countries behind all the sanctions on Iran for trying to build, ICBMs and all that. Now, the funny part is America owns ICBMs, but you're going to tell another country they can and cannot have it. You know what I mean? I figured shit, might as well do like a North Korea and say, fuck them, you know what I mean? And something is brewing because, Kim Jong-un is all in the news talking about, they got 1.4 million troops ready to fight. So if he's recruiting soldiers, what do you think this means? Wars and rumors of wars. I mean, he literally just maybe like within the last week been all in the news. I've seen a few brothers do videos on this, pistols on it, and you got to understand, he's going to side with Russia as well as China. Scriptures talk about in the book of Ezekiel chapter 38 that, Russia is going to be a guard onto these smaller nations. So, yeah, it says, well, that's the point. It's a quick article, which straight to the point. And, the elder came with less scriptures, but, at the end of the day, we're coming into that time of war because the scriptures talk about in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 is a time for love and a time for peace, a time for, it's Salakia. It says it's a time for love and a time for hate, a time for peace and a time for war, And then, the scriptures talk about the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is a man of war. This is the book of Exodus chapter 15, and the point is verse 3, the Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name. And if we get that in the blue letter, which I'm going to try and find, I know I got another one in the blue letter though. I'll get that back. But Exodus 15, because I want to prove to these people, they're talking about God is all love, but it says the Lord. So when you go into the Lord, that's the name. Now they're not saying it properly, but that's the name of the Most High, Jehovah, which we know that the Hebrew didn't have any J's. His true name would be Yahweh, the existing one, the self-existing one, Yahweh. He is or he exists. So back into Joel though. Salakia. Before I get that Joel, I got that. I want to get this Isaiah, I believe. No, this is Jeremiah chapter 46 and verse 3, and it reads, "Order ye the buckler and the shield, and draw near to battle." So a buckler and a shield, are instruments used for warfare. Verse 4, "Harness the horses and get up, ye horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets, furbish the spears, and put on the brigadines." Brigadines, right? Because the Lord is, scriptures talk about how the Lord muster the host of the battle. It's the Lord that's orchestrating these wars, ultimately, and it's going to be the ultimate war, the war of Yahweh Shaphat, the battle of Yahweh Shaphat, basically, that's going to be held in the Middle East, when all the nations going to come together and, fight, because it's ultimately in the Lord's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's script. You're gonna have a physical battle, but then the ultimate battle is gonna be not held with the modern day sword, which is the gun, but it's gonna be held with those ICBMs. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 9, and the point is verse 5, "For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." It's going to be burning with fuel of fire because those ICBMs are carried off by, missiles, you know what I mean? Which, utilize fuel to reach from one point of the earth to the other. And then, those nuclear warheads are quite fiery. One warhead may contain, 30 nukes, 50 nukes, So it won't be like the wars of ancient days where you have axe and shield and sword and knife and bow and arrow and all that and up close and personal. No, we living in a time where one missile can kill 30 people, 50 people, 100 people. It's the book of Joel, chapter 3. I'll get to the point, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is causing, these nations to be stirred up. It talks about in the book of Ezekiel chapter 38 how he's going to put hooks in Gog and Magog's mouth to turn him back to war, roughly paraphrased. Said, let the weak say I'm strong, because these weaker nations that, didn't possess certain technology because, America was the big bad bully on the block. Now you got these nations that possess the same technology. Like North Korea, for instance, that's basically letting them know, like, yeah, we getting ready. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And the mighty ones are the Alahayim, because, they working on the minds of these different leaders, like Putin, like Biden, to basically cause this. Like I said, I'll never forget right before Putin invaded Ukraine, they had signed a treaty saying that no country would basically use nuclear missiles. But yet still, since that time, you know how many countries have threatened to use nuclear missiles? So that's showing you that your will is or your will is not your own. Scriptures talk about in the book of Sirach that all things bend to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Sirach chapter 18. So, again, the Lord is stirring all these nations up. But we know, like the elder Apostle Tahar said, that are like fully invested in these scriptures, we know prophecy has to play out a certain kind of way. So we're, first it'll have to be that mass implementation of, the Sehip. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. Before we up out of here, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people, let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, meaning the righteous anger. Because, this place, basically, it talks about in the book of Revelations about how the sins of this place has reached onto the Most High. And with this devil pushing his philosophies throughout the earth, this thing has spread like a cancer worldwide. Verse 3, Salakia. Verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And that's going into them ICBMs when they're being used. When you think of a scroll being rolled together, it looks like, a mushroom cloud. And if you ever seen an image of, when they use that, not the nuclear bomb though, back during Vietnam, and they show you that image of that, it looked like a huge mushroom cloud. So that's why it said the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, which that sword bathed in heaven is an ICBM. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And Idumea, we know, is the Greek way of saying Esau, Edom, which are the same people. Esau, Edom, and Idumea is basically, that's the Greekish fashion of saying Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment, and the people of his curse is these Edomites. Verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Now, Idumea, Basra was the capital of Edom, or Idumea. And basically, this is the breakdown of America is going to be a land, because the scriptures talk about how all these nations are going to basically turn on this great whore, America, that deals with all these different nations and with their philosophies, and they get drunk off of, you know, the lifestyle that America portrays, which is actually is not a lifestyle, it's a death style. Well, these, you know, this devil's associates are going to turn on them, and they're going to shoot ICBMs on this place, because ultimately this place is a huge sacrifice, and that's why it goes into, you know, the blood of lambs and goats with the fat of kidneys and of rams. When you go on, you know, to the Old Testament, and how, you know, you had sacrifices, you know, the Most High, you know, you want the fat of certain animals, you know. You had certain animals that were sacrificed a particular type of way. You know, we no longer do that, because, you know, our big brother, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, you know, basically was the ultimate sacrifice. But nonetheless, now this place is going to be the sacrifice for all of his wickedness, all perpetuated by this red devil, who you people ignorantly call the so-called white man. So if you are a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakodos Bakatam. Say double honors to the apostles, to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. I'm going to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Muwath lababah, shalom.